A life well lived is a precious gift of hope and strength and grace from someone who has made our world a brighter, better place. It's filled with moments, sweet and sad, with smiles and sometimes tears, with friendships formed and good times shared, and laughter through the years. A life well lived is a legacy of joy and pride and pleasure, a living, lasting memory our grateful hearts will treasure. On behalf of the Bellchambers family, I welcome you and thank you for being here today to celebrate Snow's life. My name is Judy Parkinger and I have been asked by the family to be the celebrant for Snow's farewell. Judy tells me that Philip has always been called Snow. Even when she first started going out with him, she called him Philip, to which Philip's mum responded, "Who? You mean Snow?" So, Snow it is. Just like to pay special mention to some lovely people who've helped put this celebration together. A special thanks to Snow's much loved 6 grandchildren who are his pallbearers today. Emily, Kate, Courtney, Toby, Bailey and Molly. And sincere thanks to those family and friends who have travelled from a distance to be here today. The family would also like to acknowledge and thank those members of the Ulverston Fire Brigade who have formed a Guard of Honour to show their respect and love for Snow. I ask that you switch your phones to silent during our service, please. We're now going to start with the eulogy, which is going to be offered by Steve.
This great man once said, "Don't be so bloody stupid, son."
Only once? It's only to you, Tony.
Only once. That was Dad's reaction to my comment. They will come from miles, Pops, and pack the joint to the rafters. It will be standing room only. Thank you, everyone, for coming and paying your respects. No, you're right, I've got this. Yeah, I've got this. For paying your respects for your mate and friend. We as a family are truly blessed to have you join us for Dad's celebration of life. Philip James Snow Bellchambers arrived into the world on the 7th of December 1942 at Leavenworth Bank Hospital. Dad was the second son of Rosetta Himsby and Hector Roy Bellchambers. Little brother to Morris Carl and later big brother to Leslie George. Their first family home was somewhere in Main Street, 42 or 91. There's an argument there. From the beginning, Dad loved the outdoors. He adored the garden, fed the chooks, picked veggies and sold them to Hector Roy down at the Ulverston Surf Club Caravan Park. Apparently they made a killing. It was around this time he gained the nickname Snow, thanks to Harry McDonald from Trueline in the Quadrant. Young Philip wandered through there often and Snow stuck for life. Home wasn't too far from the workshop where they had a swing set, sandpit and bikes. One memorable day, with a bit too much help from George, Dad pushed Glenys Wells down a steep hill on a bike, only to realise that she didn't have brakes. She flew straight into a hawthorn bush. Safe to say, they weren't friends after that for a little while. Dad started school at Ulverston Central Primary, where he rode his bike every day. During this time, he attended a Scout Jamboree in Victoria at the age of 12. He had his own coin collection and generally loved school. He had a passion for maths, mostly counting his own money, and English, where he proudly taught his 3 boys how to swear, with a little assistance from Hector Roy. He later developed a love for manual arts, but after falling in with the wrong crowd in Year 6, he even ended up repeating Year 7, an accomplishment he'd like to joke that's something his sons could never do. Once he knuckled down, he excelled in Year 10. He was the prefect and runner-up ducks to Pam Harrington The principal even asked him to chat a group of troublesome Year 10 boys about their behaviour. Dad was already becoming a steady one that others looked up to. Jake Henricks and Dad welded the high school sign that hung proudly at the front gate of the school until 2018. He attended that school for 4 years and left in 1959. Dad was also a talented sports person, a strong runner thanks to his mum Rosie, and an excellent swimmer. The high school held their swimming carnivals in the Leven River, just opposite the old tip site. He and some mates even started making and selling long surfboards out of ply, which they later used competing at the surf club. Dad began his Boilermaker welder apprenticeship at Emu Bay Railway in Burnie, working days and studying at night. His first pay was £6.13. His early jobs included drilling thousands of plates. Old Jack Edwards sent him constantly to the machine shop to sharpen the drill bits, until Dad finally asked to sharpen them himself. "Go on then, you little smart ass," was the reply. And from then on, he did far less walking, thanks to the skills Hector Roy had taught him earlier. He managed to get himself 2 warnings early on at EBR. The first when he had to clock the older blokes' time cards in to start their shifts until someone didn't show up for work. The second was for ducking around at the corner shop to buy hooker Galpin smokes during work hours. Last chance, no. There was never a third strike. Dad taught himself to drive, and when he went for the test, the instructor said, "I've seen you driving around town. You're pretty good." In 1962, he left Tasmania for the Big Island, Australia, heading straight for North Stradbroke Island. He stripped off his Jackie Howe singlet and got himself a proper tan. Worked on the dredges and pipelines by day and surfed and swam every afternoon. He returned home after receiving a phone call from Hector Roy offering part ownership of Bellchambers Brothers as Uncle Bob wanted to retire. He joined his father and brother Morris at the workshop. It was a strong partnership. Plenty of arguments, but it worked. Over time, more family members came on board, including brother George, nephews Terry and Glenn, and sons me and Lee. Bellchambers Brothers relocated in 1966 to Short Street, where Pop Bell enjoyed growing veggies behind the workshop to feed all the workers. Still to this day, that business remained strong for over 100 years. Dad played juniors football with the Ulfson Thirds with Merv Smith as coach. He then joined the surf club, started as a beach runner, built the first Malibu surfboards out of ply, then built a ski out of ply with a few of his mates. He threw himself at every discipline, swimming on the belt, racing the boards he helped build. Both George and Dad's paddling techniques on their knees were far superior to their challengers. They were so fast that everyone else eventually had to change from stomach technique to knee paddling just to keep up. The brothers then joined the surfboat crew, with Dad rowing and George sweeping. They became state champions. Dad tried his hand at boat captain once, but let's just say it didn't suit him. At this point, George started coaching juniors, and Dad had 10 years making boards and completing at the surf club. Around this time, he moved to 18 River Road with his parents. They had a double block, grew beans for Edgels, which is now Simplot. Everything changed for Dad when he was out rowing in the surf boat one day. Rick Hendricks blasted past in his Fireball yacht calling, "Hey ho!" That was it, Snow needed a Fireball. He bought one off Graham Smith and recruited Ian Johnson as his first crewman on Tamba. He joined the Leven Yacht Club where he met his lifetime friend David Steins, Pete Ponsonby, David Spencer. For the first race, all the juniors were sitting on the bank. Philip asked, who would like to crew for me? And Ian Johnson followed up by asking, have you sailed before? Dad said, no. About 10 minutes into the race, Ian turned to Snow and exclaimed, you've bloody well sailed before. Before too long, he'd served up some serious whoop ass. Sailing knowledge grew quickly, as did his following. At one Leave and Yacht Club AGM, Dad briefly nodded off. And by the time he woke up, thanks to his mates, Alan Pearce and Jake Henricks, his hand somehow was raised. Meeting closed. Snow's the new Commodore. In July 65, Dad wandered up to the Upper Burney Dance Club with mate Vic Walton, where he met the love of his life. He remembers spotting this hot chick in a green and black dress. I'm going to ask her for a dance. Mum recalls, gee, he's pretty good looking, handsome Jude. Some girl will be lucky to go home with him tonight. Turns out that girl was her. The rest is history. They got engaged on Christmas Day 1965, and on the 3rd of September 1966, they were married. The honeymoon was planned for the east coast of Tassie until Hector Roy handed them with a fat envelope saying, take Jude to Queensland. Apparently the Gold Coast was very good to them. I ended up their honeymoon souvenir. After they married, they rented a flat in Henrik Street, and not long after, they bought a block of land, built their home. I was born in 1967. When I was 2, we moved into that home at 124 Trevor Street, which is still home today. Before long, 1970, Paul made his entrance, earning him the title Problem Child, and then Lee soon arrived soon after, in 1972, crowned Golden Child. Despite all that, us boys are best mates, always have been, always will be. In 1977, Dad and George turned their attention to boat, trailer, sailor, yachts. They got a Herman Burrows design from WA, a yacht on the same lines as the Starcraft, but with more accommodation. One for George, one for Dad, and one for John Bond, who fitted the timber work. He later named the vessel Hey Jude, which remains proudly stored at the shed to this day up the farm. The work on Snow's Hey Jude continued right up to the first race of the Winter Series in Devonport, with final fittings completed on the very day. They gave Snow a bigger handicap than George, who had been sailing his boat successfully over the summer. Snow went out and got the best crew he could find, Steve Walker and Mike Darby. Steve made all the sails, it's one right here, and the first time Dad had spotted the sails was when they were pulled out of the bag for the first race. They won countless races, club championships, black pile trophies and Winter Series events. Pop said, the harder it blew, the faster they went. Having his own business, working 6 days a week, 10 hours a day. Dad didn't see a lot of us boys, but he certainly made up for it when he bought the farm. This was his next great love, which began in 1982. The block was on Thompson's Road in Kindred, 63 acres of run-down sheep paddocks, tied old fencing. I was 15, Paul 12 and Lee 9. Dad would take us to the farm to work, wear us out. Many holidays were spent bailing, finishing late as Christmas Eve. In 1983 it was Year of the Trees, so we planted 1,000 Knighton gums and 200 blackwoods, some of which are still standing today. Nan and Pop Bell loved the farm. They'd pack a lunch, head up for the day. They'd help plant trees around the new dam as well. Over the years there was a lot of hard work, countless legal burn-offs by Nan and Pop Bell. endless hours of work from Lee, help from Paul, the place transformed into a humble retreat. They ran red poles, grew potatoes with Bill Dyson, put in a couple of poppy crops with some good season for the A-van, bought that year. And later moved, that was a caravan, sorry. And later moved on to growing beans with Greg Layton. Lee is a natural farmer, happiest among the land, the cattle and the Serendi. Together with Dad, they worked towards establishing a Murray Grey stud and improving their beekeeping and honey production, gradually shaping the farm into what it is today. Dad joined the wonderful Ulverstone Fire Brigade as a volunteer, giving countless hours to the community. He had 23 wonderful years and was thrilled when us boys joined him, something he treasured. He was also honoured with Firefighter of the Year 3 times, received the National Medal and received life membership of the brigade. Retirement took a little time for Dad to adjust. He worried he'd have no time. Oh, sorry, he'd have nothing to do. He'd be bored, said who. Truth be told, he probably became even busier. Now he's got more time with his newest loves, the loves brought in by us boys, his daughter-in-laws, Del, Nita and Eb. He treasured every hug with them, and of course, his proudest joys come along, 6 grandchildren, Emily, Kate, Courtney, Toby, Barley and Molly, and 1.5 great-grandchildren in little Macklin up the back, and a little bundle of joy yet to arrive. See him interact with his grandies. Every his final days is a memory him and we will cherish. In 2004, Mum and Dad began travelling to the mainland in their caravan for a few months. Each year they visited Toowoomba and Rockhampton. They spending precious times with Emily and Kate, while also meeting new people and forming lasting friendships forever. They loved getting away with their special friends Merv and Joss and Bev and Dudley, and enjoyed some family camping trips, especially to those favourite spots of Longford and the Arthur River. Each January, Dad cherished escaping with his mates Jake Henricks and Alan Pearce on the yachts to Lake Burbury, friends he had known since school. You pulled up anchor just 3 weeks short of your 83rd birthday, Pops. A beautiful marriage, 59 years with Mum. Be proud, mate, because I tell you what, we are. You achieved so much. It's no wonder you're tired in the end. Many would be jealous of such a life. We've got this now. Though we may need a little guidance, a peek out to sea, a glance at the clouds and the trees, we know you'll be there for us. Our chief, our leader, our captain, gone for one last sail, spinnakers up, hey Jude on a reach. Our shining star, dimmed a little, but not extinguished. Already missed, forever loved. We will meet again. Love your entire family. I'm going to leave you with a couple of Dad's favourite messages. Firstly, this one. I'm surprised he didn't wear the bars out, to be honest. Keep your family close. Take care of each other. And there's 2 great things to come out of Burnie. The road east and my beautiful bride. Love you, Pops.
have asked for a better eulogy. Well done, Steve. So now it's the turn of the problem child. Paul is going to come and pay his tribute to his dad.
The only problem is there was never a problem. All right. This week's been a time of reflection. For me, I got thinking what lessons in life my dad has taught me. The first one was when I was 6 or 7. He taught me how to swim. This is a quick lesson. Dad had a keelboat called the Log tied up at the Olveston Wharf. One morning, Dad was doing some maintenance on it when he heard a splash at the front of the boat. A quick head count revealed Dad was one child down. Instead of diving in after me, he watched me go under the boat's keel with the outgoing tide and thought if I go down the back, he should come up the other side. Sure enough, and apparently with eyes as big as dinner plates, I dog paddled up to his outstretched arm and he pulled me back into the boat. That was the first of many times he said, "Don't tell your mother." And apparently as soon as I got home, I told my mother. Problem child. All right. Over the years and more recently on another yachting trip on Hey Jude, I learned how to react under pressure and to find a solution to a problem as quick as you can. On what would be my last trip with Dad to Shootin' Island, or in Dad's words, our little paradise. We left home, keen as mustard, only to get as far as Deloraine, where while driving I said, "Shit, looks like we've had a blowout on the trailer." His answer was, "Bugger, the spare's not much chop." Well, he wasn't wrong about the spare, as I could see the tube through the rusted rim. He wasn't flash with maintenance. Anyway, it was better than the blown out one, right? Back on the road, we got to the Hobart turn-off when I've gone, "Shit," he said, "What, another blowout?" I said, "No, we've lost a wheel." "What, where?" I said, "That blooming thing going past us right now." As the wheel that we'd just put on overtook us down the highway. Anyway, once we found it, we were back on the road again, limping our way to Longford to get a brand new spare and the blowout fixed. No problem. After we had the best 3 days on and around our little paradise, sailing, fishing, bushwalking and laughing, we ventured back to Swansea to head home and, unknown to us at that point, face a couple of more challenges. I got off at the Swansea jetty to go and get the ute and trailer, which was parked at Vic Walton's block near the golf course. When I got there, I noticed someone had sliced a golf ball and smashed the side window of his canopy. With no time to fix this, I went back to Dad, put Hey Jude on the trailer, found some plastic and 100-mile-an-hour tape and sorted that issue out. Off we go. Coming into Olveston, reflecting on the wonderful time we had, laughing about the misadventures we had, out of the blue was a massive bang behind us. He said, "What the fuck was that?" I said, "I think the trailer has come off the ball." "You better pull over," he said. Well, it wasn't that simple, was it? What had happened was the trailer's main chassis from the tow ball had broken. After skull dragging that trailer out of everyone's way, I looked at it and thought, how the hell are we going to sort this out? Within a couple of minutes, we had jacked the trailer off the ute and Dad was off to Merv Reed's to get some RHS steel and 4G clamps. Yep, the patch-up wasn't pretty, but it got us home, eventually. In all of this, we were still able to laugh about it. A laugh about it all, which was another one of his traits he passed on to me. Dad's sense of humour was his greatest gift, and with his signature laugh, which could be heard from the next street over, I'm sure, he was often the life of the party and certainly the instigator of many practical jokes played on his mates. Just ask Philip Bethoit about Pete Ponsonby's boat trailer, or ask Alan Pearce about old Ferg's ashes and the glassed eye. Dad's work ethic. Dad's attitude to getting ahead in life wasn't to wait for a windfall, but to get out there and work hard to achieve what you want. This was evident by being a successful business owner. The last 25 years of his working life, when he knocked off, he used to go up to his farm with a couple of hours every weeknight. Then his weekends were always up there with us boys in tow, especially in our younger years. Being resourceful. Do we call this reuse and recycle, or just plain and simple being a tight ass? I always just thought Dad was a tight ass. Yeah, sure, you could save a bit of money using second-hand materials, but sometimes giving something a second purpose in life quite often made it shine brighter than ever. Discipline. Dad was ahead of his time when it came to this. He used to give us a flogging every Sunday, whether we deserved it or not. That's not totally true, is it, Mum? Actually, I only ever remember getting one hiding. Dad didn't have to show his strength this way. I'm not sure if it was Mum saying, "Wait till your father gets home," that made us guessing what we were going to get, or when he walked in the door. What we did get was a warm embrace from him. The other thing he gave us was respect. We respected him and did everything we could to make him proud of us. That's the secret to any relationship. Family values. Just a minute. These are very important to Dad, and is undoubtedly the best lesson he has handed down to us. Joining his father in their family business gave him a good grounding with his family. Every Sunday we used to go up to my nan and pops for what I thought, when I was a kid, was just to have morning tea and possibly the best sponge cake ever that Nan cooked every week. There's some in here that would remember that sponge cake. Where was I? Here we are. No, it wasn't about that at all. But getting the family together, catching up with our cousins and connecting the generational gap between grandparents and grandkids. It was here that I learnt so many of the old-time stories from Pop, where I would either roll my eyes in disbelief or I would just stare in amazement at just how different life was when I was a boy. Dad had many stories of his own he told to his grandchildren, more often more than once. And I love seeing them all being invested in his stories and the time they all got to spend with him. He loved every one of his grandchildren. He left them with a special gift by calling them individually only a few days before he passed. I'm sure each of them will never forget that phone call. I'm grateful for these lessons Dad passed on to me, and I hope I can pass them on to my grandchildren and children, and they can be proud of me as I was of my father. Thanks, Dad.
Thanks, Paul. And finally, we're going to hear from the golden child. It's Lee's turn to pay tribute to his dad.
G'day all. I've had a bit to do with Dad over the years, as you probably know. I tried to work it out. It was 20 years living with him, 8 years working with him, and 41 years farming with him. That's 69 years I've lived with him. I look pretty good for a 69-year-old, don't I? I woke up 2 in the morning. Dad always used to say, that's the time you'll come up with solutions. I woke up in sweats, legs trembling, and memories were coming back that I thought that I never ever had again. Dad was a storyteller. He could tell a bloody good story, but the problem was because I hung around him so often, I didn't get to tell any stories. So I think I just locked them up in the filing cabinet and I'd forgotten about them all. Somehow, Dad, I told him after he'd passed, I whispered in his ear and I said, I'm going to speak about our stories, Dad, but bloody oath I'm going to need your hand. He is helping me today. I've had anxiety all my life. I've suffered with social stuff and big crowds. I do not want to read stuff off this booklet after that. I've got 13 pages of stories in here that I've written over the last 2 or 3 days after his death. I read them out to my beautiful wife, Nate, and the kids, and they're sick to death of me talking about my dad at the moment. I've been breaking down every day. I've been up the farm winding up fence reels in tears. It's been the toughest 2 weeks of my life. And to see this building chock-a-block full of people that I know most of their faces, it's just fantastic. And he's looking down at you all now. The hardest part when I come to meet with Judy, and no offence Judy, I said, how long have I got to speak? 7 minutes was mentioned. That ripped my heart out. 69 years of time with Dad, and I've got to condense that down to 7 minutes. Have I got a bit more time than 7? Yeah. Thank you. I had a beer with Gibbo. Where is he? Up in the shack yesterday. I think 2 beers actually. Where I used to spend a lot of my time with Dad. He was supposed to be doing the jobs on the farm, but he spent a lot of time just sitting in the shack, falling asleep, reading books and all that sort of stuff, and just admiring the view. So Gibbo didn't know this, but I challenged him. He took photos of every page of my eulogy that I was going to read out, that I'm not going to read out. And I told him he needs to tell me which page number made the biggest impact. I was hoping he'd pick page 7, because that was going to be the easy one. He picked page 12, the one that I couldn't get through, reading to Anita, the both of us in tears, and now I've got to get through it. I had no confidence, so I'd have to ring Dad up all the time and ask for advice. I'd ring him up 3-4 times a day and ask him something where I already knew the answer to, but I just had to get guidance. When I started to grow hairs on my balls at 45 years of age, I stopped asking Dad for advice. Bev, I did have hair on my balls before that.
It's in the genes.
Something then changed. Dad started ringing me. I didn't have to ring Dad anymore because he kept ringing me up. The last 12 months I'd be teaching. I had it on silent, but the phone would buzz. And I would have a quick look, and it was Dad. I'd say to the student, sorry, I've got to get this. Hey Dad, you right? I said, yeah, all good. I said, what are you up to? I said, I'm actually teaching. Oh, I just want to know what paddock the cows are in at the moment. And I said, can I ring you back? I said, yeah, no worries. So that was just the conversations. They weren't real deep he just wanted to know what was happening on the farm. I want to tell you on the Sunday night we went to hospital and we thought Dad was having a heart attack. And of course he was putting it on, it was just angina. But when they called code blue and 9 to 10 nurses and doctors all rush in, and I'm with my mum and my son and Ayla and Anita, it was horrific to watch. I went back in with Mum and we said our goodbyes because we thought he said he had had enough. So we went outside and I walked up the corridor with Mum and we both asked for God to take him so he wasn't in any more pain. The next day was my birthday. He rang me up for my birthday and Molly videoed him. I'm looking for Molly, sorry darling. And he wished me happy birthday. And then, as Paul said, the family was all around on the Wednesday, and it was a beautiful thing. I just want to talk about values. I mentioned Bill before, but I won't today. I like to think, I started one of these pages and was reading out to Courtney, and I said, me and Dad were like peas and carrots, and she stopped me. I said, what? She said, I thought it was peas and corn. Because when we cook peas and corn, you put them in the steamer together. And I said, well, no, the carrot is the one that stands out on your plate. The pea is like me and Mum. We're the anxious ones. We're the ones that are small and hidden to the side. My two brothers...
Don't say broccoli.
I wasn't. Please don't butt in now. My two brothers, one Brussels sprouts and one cauliflower. You've only got to look at the 10-year-old photo of Buff and you'll know which one. I said this to me kids, and I said, Courtney goes, well, which one am I? And I said, you're the capsicum. I don't like capsicum. She said, you're vibrant and sweet. And then Tobes goes, oh God, what the bloody hell am I? There's not many veggies left. He's the humble spud. It's needed on every plate. Now, I went to the UK and went out for tea with Auntie Pat and Uncle Warwick's son Peter. And there's mushy peas on the menu. And I love peas because my grandparents, I used to pick them with pop and pot them with nan and then sneak them in, and they were beautiful things. So peas are my favourite. Well, when I ate these mushy peas, the first two mouthfuls were just bliss, like Auntie Dot would say. But by the time I got to 8 spoonfuls, I was sick of them. I had more than half a bowlful left that I couldn't eat anymore. That's the problem. You need a plate full of variety. And that's what our family is. We're all different, apart from me and Mum. And that's what wealth is. Wealth was Wednesday night, and wealth's our variety of family. So I just want to talk about the one person that hasn't been brought up much tonight that made Dad the person he is. That's my beautiful Mum. And I want Mum to come up here. She'll be right, Buff. Yep. You can stand just on the... No, you stand there. Up here. Because I want Mum to experience looking at all these beautiful people that have come to see this magnificent woman. Because they don't do funerals properly. They put the seats at the front and they can't see who's turned up for the day. How stupid is that? We should be standing at the back watching everyone else facing us. Actually, no, turning around, facing up. You get the idea. Sorry, I need to dress you. Now, I just want to tell you what true love is. True love is when you see your beautiful mother holding my dad's hand and saying the words, "I love you," to the moon and back. It's the most beautiful thing you'll ever see in your life, and I was lucky to experience it.
Thank you, darling.
I love you so much. Thank you.
Wow, how can I follow something like that? Absolutely wonderful.
That's why I wanted more than 7 minutes. My other bit went for 45. You're lucky.
I am. So in your service booklet is a lovely poem that we've included, the family has included, called the Friendship Poem, which I'd like to read out. There are those who pass like ships in the night, who meet for a moment and then sail out of sight. Folks we know briefly, then quickly forget. Then there are friends who sail together through quiet waters and stormy weather, helping each other through joy and strife. And they are the kind who give meaning to life. And I'm sure Philip will be remembered as a friend who gave meaning to so many other people's lives. We're now going to share some lovely photo memories.
Almost heaven, West Virginia, Blue Ridge Mountains, Shenandoah River. Life is old there, older than the trees, younger than the mountains, growing like a breeze. Country roads take me home to the place I belong. West Virginia, mountain mama, take me home. Country roads, all my memories gather round her. Miner's lady, stranger to blue water, dark and dusty, painted on the sky, misty taste of moonshine, teardrop in my eye. Country roads take me home to the place I belong. West Virginia, mountain mama, take me home. Country roads, I hear her voice in the morning hour. She calls me, the radio crystal red to burgundy and spinifex to gold. We've just come out of the mulga where the plains forever roll. And Albert Namatjira has painted all the scenes, and a shower has changed the luster of his land. And it's raining on the rock in a beautiful country. And I'm proud to travel this big land like an Aborigine. And it's raining on the rock, what an almighty sight to see. And I'm wishing on a postcard that you were here with me. Everlasting daisies and a beautiful desert rose, where does their beauty come from? Heaven knows. I could ask the wedge-tail, but he's away too high. I wonder if he understands it's wonderful to fly. And it's raining on the rock in a beautiful country. And I'm proud to travel this big land like an Aborigine. And it's raining on the rock, what an almighty sight to see. And I'm wishing on a postcard that you were here with me. Be described with a picture, the mesmerizing colors of the alders, or the grandeur of the rock. Uluru has power, and it's raining on the rock in a beautiful country. And I'm proud to travel this big land like an Aborigine. And it's raining on the rock, what an almighty sight to see. And I'm wishing on a postcard that you were here with me.
I'd like to share with you as a reflection this beautiful poem provided to me by Molly. The tide is slow tonight, like it knows to take its time. Waves whisper your name, soft as the hush before sunrise. You, our compass in every storm, the steady hand on the helm, the man who could fix anything with a grin and a wink, and a joke we'd heard 100 times, still laughing like it was brand new. We gather close, hearts raw and trembling, not ready to drift from your shore. You've been the glue, the anchor, the quiet strength holding us true. Now the sea hums your lullaby, calling you gently home. And as the days grow stiller, we see in you every shimmer of light on the water, every breeze through the door, You'll never be gone, just sailing ahead, leaving footprints of love in your wake. Rest when you're ready, Poppy Snow, our captain, our laughter, our heart. The tide carries you softly onwards, but your love will never part. As we draw to the conclusion of our ceremony today, the family warmly invite you to afternoon tea at the Ulverston Fire Station in Trevor Street. And at the fire station will be a donation box to support Relay for Life. And now we come to our committal. Philip Snow, we bid you farewell. We are thankful to have shared joy in the sun, shelter in the storms, and to have laughed in the same moment. We will treasure the memory of your words and works, your character and quality, and will be forever enriched for having known your face. Your kind and generous nature we commit to our memories. Your love, humour and friendship we commit to our hearts. Your body we commit to its end with nature. Thank you for all that you were and all that you gave. Love and light to you on your final journey. And a typical farewell to a sailor is, and I heard somebody mention it before, farewell and following seas to you. As we get ready to leave today, the family have some beautiful leaves from the farm. The immediate family are going to lay them on Snow's coffin, and you're welcome to follow suit. Thank you for joining us today.